How's it going, everyone? It is WilsonPlays here, and today I am back with Wilson Wednesdays, the very first part of Wilson Wednesdays. Last week on Wednesday, I announced that I was going to do this series as a weekly Q&A series, and I asked you to leave comment in the comment section of that video with your questions that you want to ask me, and I'll answer them, whether it's like gaming related or more personal sort of related. Yeah, we got quite a few questions. So I'm going to say this at the start of the video. Number one, I'm sorry about the camera. I hope it's okay for you guys, but I still haven't tweaked it or anything. It's kind of using almost default settings with some minor things changed. Also, leaving the comments your questions for part 2. And try, when you're commenting on this video, try and make it questions only, because there was a couple of non-question comments in the announcement video, and I'm just trying to kind of keep the comment section as tidy as possible. But anyway, let's get into this then, without further ado. Alright, so the first person to submit questions, fuck me, is ChillZ, and he's got 3 questions. Number 1, which game is your favourite? And I always say this when I get this question, because there's 2 questions I usually get in relation to this. Number 1, what's your favourite game of all time? Number 2, what's your favourite GTA? And the answer to both is GTA San Andreas. Not much to say other than that. Number 2, who is my inspiration? Now, I don't know, I'm guessing this is a YouTube related question rather than in life. Who is my inspiration on YouTube? It's just, I don't really have a specific one. I guess when I first started watching YouTube, it was Syndicate, because I used to watch him all the time with his Call of Duty video streams and stuff and videos back in the day. But I wouldn't say that, apart from him, when I first started watching YouTube, I wouldn't say that a particular person really inspired me. Obviously, as a collective, everybody did that I watched, but that's about it. I can't say that one particular person stood out that inspired me. And number 3, why you don't upload gaming videos anymore? Now, I had to reread this a few times, because at first I was thinking, but isn't that what I do on an almost daily basis when I stream? So I had to reread it, and I kind of came to the conclusion that what he means is, why don't I do videos anymore? So like record, render, upload, that sort of thing. I've been doing a couple recently, like mod showcases and stuff, but as an overall, the reason for that is it's a lot of extra effort to do that. And also, I don't enjoy it as much because I'm not a confident commentator. I can't just sit there speaking to myself. Whereas when I'm streaming, I'm playing the game and I'm interacting with you guys directly. So it's a lot easier for me to stream, and a lot more enjoyable for me to stream as well. So thank you, ChillZ, for your questions. And let's get on to the next person when my keyboard actually works. This next question is from Drumsty, and he asks, what are your PC specs? Now, every time someone asks me this in a live stream, I always say, where can you find the PC specs? And I allow like the loyal viewers to answer. It's on the About section of my channel, for anyone that needs to know what my PC specs are. But because for the sake of the video you've asked this, I'm just going to sort of reveal them. I'm not going to list them all. I'm just going to go over the most important ones. So I've got a Core i7 8700K, which is overclocked to 5 GHz. That's a 6-core 12-thread processor. 16 gig of Corsair Vengeance DDR4. I think it's 2133 in speed. I actually don't know. And an NVIDIA RTX 2070 Founders Edition. That's about it. Like, yeah, obviously they've got all the other parts in it, but you can find the full list on my channel, but I think those are the most important parts that you probably wanted to know about. So thank you, Drumsty, for your question. Next up, Defil, and he's got 3 questions. One of them I totally expected, because, you know, he mentions this quite a lot. Number 1, will you play Postal 2 one day? I can't promise anything, but it's on a list. It's on a list. But yeah, I was expecting that. Number 2, best sim racing game you have ever played. This is a ridiculously hard question because sim racing, you can go through phases. You know, when I first started sim racing, R Factor, the first R Factor, R Factor 1, whatever you want to call it, was the shit. It was the only sim that people were hosting races on. It was the most common one and stuff like that. And then, of course, was R Factor 2. Then there's Assetto Corsa, iRacing, stuff like that. It changes from time to time. But in terms of hours and enjoyment, probably R Factor 2. But these days, it's not doing so well. But at the moment, I'm playing a lot of Assetto Corsa Competizione. And today, Automobilista 2 released. So I'll probably be putting quite a few hours into that as well. But yeah, that's difficult. That's a difficult question to answer, so I'm hoping that I answered it as well as I could right there. And number 3, what's your favourite food? Pizza. Just, yeah. As long as it's got a lot of meat on it and jalapenos, you've got me. You've got me. But thank you, Defil, for your questions. Ward asked, can you do a setup tour? Yes. I've put it on a video ideas list. I will do a setup tour. For those of you that remember my setup tour from about 3 years ago, it's very similar to that with just some minor differences. It's still the same desk and it's still in the same place in my room. P.S. Ward's mic smells like cheese. Can't say I sniffed it when I recorded the announcement, but shit, you're right. Jesus. Okay, right. Next one. Scrain02 asks, have you thought about giving the Dragon Ball games a try? The comment is extremely long, but that's the question. Anyway, I've not thought about it. I know what Dragon Ball Z is and stuff like that. I know what Dragon Ball is, but yeah, maybe. I like fighting games. So possibly. But yeah, I'm not too sure yet. But yeah, thank you, Screen, for your question. The next person to ask some questions is Riley, and he's got 3 questions, and he asks, number 1, how long you known me for? That's a good question, because I honestly don't remember what made you tune into my channel in the first place, but that'll be where I've known you from. 2 years? 3 years? 4 years? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how long you've been subbed to me for, so a long time, I know that. I know you're one of the OGs, but yeah, I'm not too sure. Number 2, favourite city in the UK? Sheffield, because that's where I'm from. That's pretty... I've not been to many cities, but yeah, probably say Sheffield. And number 3, do you like BBW girls? Before I answer this, for any girl that's watching this, and to anyone that is watching this, I'm a guy about personality, for one. And number 2, it doesn't matter what you look like, or how big you are, how small you are. It doesn't matter. As long as you're happy, then there's nothing wrong with it. So, I'm not a judgmental person. I don't go around judging people for the size, the looks, and whatever else. But for the sake of the question and for the sake of the video, I do have to answer this. No. And that's not a lie. That's a genuine answer. It's... Personally, I look at the personality way more than I do the looks. The personality always comes first. Looks is very, very secondary. So... Yeah. I mean, would I date a BBW girl? Possibly, if the personality's all there. But... if we're talking about looks alone, probably not. But anyway, thank you, Riley, for your question. That was really awkward. The next few questions come from Dr. Super 007, and he asks, what's your favourite game series besides GTA? Until recent times, I would probably say Need for Speed. But because of recent times, that series has let itself down. So I'm gonna say the F1 series by Codemasters. F1 is one of my go-to motorsports, and I watch it whenever it's on. So playing the games is a must, and it's something I've done for years. So I'd probably say the F1 series. Which multiplayer games do you play often? Probably just the sim racing games, to be honest. I don't really play multiplayer all that often. Unless I'm streaming, then SAMP and MTA, of course. But yeah, probably just my simulators, my racing simulator. Number 3, does driving in a racing sim help you in real life? And the answer to that is yes, actually. They're quite interchangeable. If you drive in real life, you can pick up a simulator pretty quickly. But if you drive in a simulator, you can also pick up real life pretty quickly. I'd say the racing simulators not so much. But one simulator I've played for years is Euro Truck Simulator 2. And I would say, of course, Euro Truck, it's not as advanced as driving a real car. And it also depends on what equipment you have. But it gave me the basic idea, how to, properly steer and change gear and what you should do with the clutch and stuff like that. So it did mean that when I came to learning to drive in real life, everything kind of came really quickly to me. And I'm not saying the racing simulators didn't help, but I'd say they were less helpful than something like Euro Truck. So, yeah, I'd definitely say it helped me. There was one thing... going on to this, because my racing simulator experience, on my very first driving lesson, I made a boo-boo. I didn't crash or anything, but basically, if you imagine you're going into a hairpin on a racing simulator, you might do this to get around the hairpin, because that's probably as far as the car will lock. But when I did that, in the real car, obviously it didn't work, because obviously I needed a bit more turning, and I was like, oh shit, what do I do here? That was like the first time I took a corner, basically, in a real car, and I was just like, yeah, you're not racing, mate. But yeah, that was a long-winded answer to a short question. But yeah, thank you so much, DRS, for your questions. The next question comes from GTA Queen Amber, and she asked, when did I start gaming and start YouTube? I've read that in the reverse order. Don't know why. My brain. When did I start YouTube? The first channel I actually had was, I think it was back in like 2010, I want to say, like 2010. It was a Pokemon channel actually, and I'm not. It doesn't exist anymore, so don't like try and research it and stuff. And I'm not telling you the name of it, 'cause it's incredibly embarrassing. But yeah, but yeah, I'd say 2010, 2011, somewhere around there. And the second part, when did I start gaming? As a child, really. I must have been like 3 or 4 years old. The earliest childhood gaming memory I have is playing GTA 3. I believe it was my first game that I ever played on the PS2. But yeah, I hope that answers both your questions, Amber, and thank you for your question. The next lot of questions, there's 4 questions here by Supran. Hello, Supran. And he asks, what is your favourite game of all time? San Andreas. Who is my favourite GTA protagonist? CJ. Pretty simple. What are my hobbies? Obviously, as you know, gaming and YouTube. I like working out, as you can see over my other one. There you can see my weight bench and my barbell and stuff like that. I've got dumbbells and stuff on the floor that you can't see, and there's an exercise bike like over there somewhere near the door. So working out, I'd say, is a hobby of mine. Listening to music, definitely, and racing and motorsports, I guess, is probably the last big one. Number 4, what music do you like/prefer? Now, I'm very broad when it comes to my music taste. I will listen to anything that's not screamo, basically. But as a preference, I'd say 90s American rap, techno, house, stuff like that. That's probably my go-tos and stuff. But yeah, thank you so much, Sapram, for your questions, mate. And the next lot of questions come from Martin Vinnis, and I'd say a lot of questions. There's 3 lines, and they're all the same question. Guy game when? Well, Vinnis, it's on a list. Eventually, I will give in and try a guy game for you. All right. But yeah, thank you, Vinnis, for your question. This one comes from Ionitis, and I guess he asks, I mean, the wording's a bit dodgy, but I'm guessing he means, do you have coronavirus? Not that I know of. I feel absolutely fine, and long may it continue. But yeah, thank you, Ionitis. And the next question comes from Ian Graham, long-time subscriber here. Ian, been subbed since my old channel, so shout out to him. And he asks, what is the quickest that you have 100% at a game, and which was it? Well, what is the quickest? I have no idea. Genuinely, I don't think I've ever timed how long it's took me. But which was it would probably be GTA 3 if I had to take a guess. Because GTA 3 is the shortest of the 3D games when it comes to either just completing the storyline or completing 100%. So I'd probably say it was GTA 3. And even if you look at my YouTube series, I think GTA 3 is a lot shorter than the like Vice City and San Andreas and stuff. So thank you, Ian, for your question, mate. The next one comes from Harsh. And he asked, can you play Need for Speed Most Wanted anytime soon? Not the remaster one, the original one. Thanks. Well, thank you for your question, mate. And it's on the list, but it's on the list of things I need to do or want to do. But it's quite high up. I'll just say that much. It's quite high up on the list. Most Wanted. The 2005 Most Wanted. Probably the best Need for Speed ever to come out, and it's such an amazing game. Earliest question from Defil, if that said racing game of all time, not racing sim, then Most Wanted 2005, but it's not a sim, so I can't count it. But yeah, thank you, Harsh, for your question. And the next question comes from my man Dibbles, aka Wubs, aka probably the guy responsible for everything that you see on the channel today, apart from, you know, the stuff that Vindus has made. Anyway, I'm rambling. What am I doing? And he asks, if you were put in a room with Adolf Hitler and a rabid monkey, but you only had one bullet in your gun, which one do you shoot? What an interesting question. Well, I could either be really selfish and shoot the monkey, and Hitler wouldn't kill me because I guess he just wouldn't. I might have a chance of getting out alive, but then if I'm like staring into space over here, guys. I realise that I'm like thinking. So if I shoot the monkey, I save myself and have a chance of living. But if I shoot Hitler, I can. I'm guessing this scenario is like when Hitler was when he was still alive and doing all the bad stuff. But if I shoot Hitler, I can possibly save millions of lives, but then get murdered by the monkey. I'm going to say shoot Hitler. I'm going to be the hero. Yeah, what an interesting question. Thank you, Dibbles, for that. But yeah, thanks. Thank you. Next question. Oh, it's Ian again. Oh, I've done this wrong. Sorry about that. I literally, to prepare for this video, I took screenshots of every single comment, and now I'm reading them off the Windows slideshow thing. But yeah, next question comes from Ian once again. I'm sorry about this. And he asks, I know Rockstar don't use big names as voices in games anymore, but if you can name 3 big names that haven't voiced characters in GTA before, what would you choose? I don't think De Niro was voiced in GTA, not that I know of anyway, so probably De Niro. Joe Pesci, you can see a theme going on here. My all-time favourite film is Goodfellas, and I would just happily list actors from Goodfellas, right? But obviously Ray Liotta's already voiced Tommy Vercetti, so I can't pick him. So Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci. And then I would go with probably Christian Bale, because, and well, I don't think he's voiced a GTA character. Correct me if I'm wrong. Thinking back to the film American Psycho, which is another one of my favourites, if he played a role that's similar to that, maybe he could play like, I don't know, something similar to Rosenberg, but not like being a pussy, basically, just kind of being like a psychopath, and his voice, he just sounds mental and stuff like that. I think that would probably be pretty cool. But yeah, that was the final question of the video. So thank you all so much for watching. As I said at the start of the video, please post your questions down below, and I'll be able to answer them in the next part. Please leave a like. if you've enjoyed the video, and also get subscribed if you want to see more of GTA content and this sort of content and stuff like that. And I really hope this video has actually gone really well, because I'm not sure. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Take care, guys.